It is that time of year. We all venture out into the yard and we curse, admit it, you do, quietly as we rake giant piles of leaves, throw them into bags, and put them in the dump.
No.
That's where Kath Smythe comes in from the Calgary Horticultural Society. She says, look, we want you guys to start composting these things because they're really good for the garden, aren't they?
They're extremely good for the garden.
Okay.
And I've
what makes them
always
so good?
Well, you know what? They break down so beautifully. They add more bacteria to our soil. I've always got a bag, a leaf bag going.
On the go.
On the go, because it breaks down so beautifully and it adds great nutrients to the soil over the season, and it's one way to hold moisture in our ground.
Oh, hey.
And it adds another layer of soil.
Conserve some water by using them as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Kath, you were saying that you raked these yesterday.
Yes.
And these have been in your leaf compost bag for...
Oh, they've been there about 6 weeks.
Okay, 6 weeks.
Yes.
And that did not take a long time for them to
No.
go from the, relatively bright off to like kind of really turning into
And they're
dirt.
turning, well,
like
they're
it's sticking
turning
to my
in,
fingers.
they're
yeah.
already turning into soil. They will break down really, really nicely, and I'm going to use this as mulch on my garden this winter.
Oh, okay, you put it just on top of the dirt.
I put it on top, and then this summer, come the spring, I've got naturally breaking down, and I never have to dig in my soil.
Perfect. That's hey,
that's
low maintenance.
The whole thing.
Will this help with Chinooks in the winter too, keeping the moisture in the dirt? Okay.
Definitely.
That's a
definitely.
good key. Okay. And so gardens is one use. Another use you wanted to highlight this morning is potted things, right?
Well, I have a Japanese maple.
Okay.
And
is this it?
This is it.
Okay.
And I'm always looking at ways to conserve it. So what I do is I take my potato bag that I grew my potatoes in.
Okay.
And I fill up around the pot.
So not just in the pot, but outside the pot.
Outside the pot,
yeah.
and it creates a barrier, and it's a natural insulator. And I'll go around and I'll do this, and I'll just keep filling it up. I make sure that the plant is really well watered.
Sure.
And then this bag pulls up and holds up about here, and it'll just give me that much more insulation on my maple, which isn't hardy for here. But it'll also keep the animals from coming and chewing on it.
Oh, because of course they want to do
because they
that.
love
yeah.
it. But the leaves around it'll keep it frozen solid.
Wow.
And it's like putting a natural barrier of insulation around it. And I'll just shove it up against the fence in the shade, and it'll be lovely next spring.
And it's good till spring.
Yes, and it already has buds set for next year, so
nice.
I'm hoping.
Nice. Okay.
I live in hope.
So what other things can I do with the leaves, though, to make kind of a second life for them?
Well, the second life for them, as far as I'm concerned, is adding them as layers in your compost bin. You know how in the winter months you're always going out and you're adding to your compost, and you're going, oh, I've only got household matter to add. So I've always got, sitting beside my compost heap, a garbage bag 2 or 3 or 4 of leaves. And about every fourth time I go out with some of the household waste into my garbage bin, I will add this to the compost. This is browns.
Sure.
This will become the actual
That's your brown layer. Okay.
Yeah, this is your brown layer. And then you just keep adding it. The reason people don't succeed with composting in the winter months is because, we don't have a lot of moisture.
True.
So we add moisture. We need to add a little bit of water. So I'll go out at 2 when I'm doing this, and I'll throw in a cup of water, and I'll just give it a bit of a stir.
Oh, okay. You actually literally mix it up like a big...
Mix it up. You're making a soup pot. You're making a stew.
Okay.
You're making compost stew.
And without the moisture, of course, it doesn't break down.
That's right. It doesn't matter about heat. It really is just how often you stir it. I've been out to the City of Calgary landfills and seen their compost heaps in the winter when it's -10.
Yes.
And there's steam rising off of them. They're making such good heat.
Wow.
They could be a heat source for us.
Yeah, of course.
They really could. And I just think that we're not using enough of this biodegradable material to create our own uses for it. Just think how healthy our trees would be.
Yeah, no kidding.
It would be beautiful.
Good tips. If people want to follow up on this, what's the Calgary Horticultural Society?
Calhort.org.
Calhort, one word, .org.
.org.
All right, good stuff. Thank you, Kath. Kath Smythe.